I am Dr. Zarunisha, Assistant Professor at the Department of Philosophy, Ramanujan College, University of Delhi. I hope you all are enjoying all the session in this extensive 2-week refresher program on the theme Feminist Teaching and Research in Higher Education, Theory and Practice. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss and share my views on the inclusion of LGBTQ model of teaching in higher education and its challenges and changes. Nowadays, the abbreviation LGBTQ is very much in fashion. We generally heard words like lesbian, gays, cisgender, transgender, etc. at workplaces and educational institutions where we work. LGBTQ people are treated and seen differently, but the question is why? We need to reflect upon the complexity of such identity in our society and the educational sector and institution so that we can provide an egalitarian and conducive environment to the development of all gender identities together in our society. But before I begin, let me give you the brief outline of the lecture I am going to deliver today. So first of all, I will try to explain various LGBTQ terminologies and definition we often encounter in our day-to-day life, but we are not aware of it. After that, I would discuss the place and situation of LGBTQ youth in our society. Then the status of LGBTQ students in higher education and the way they are viewed and treated in gender stereotype environment. I discuss the barriers behind their inclusion in society as well as educational sectors and try to provide relevant and important strategies for their inclusion. I also share feminist teaching pedagogies which can be implemented in order to provide healthy environment in classroom teaching. Generally, the term LGBTQ is used to a person's emotional and or physical attraction to people of the same gender and or a different gender and or both. They can be called as non-heterosexual or non-cisgender, which has a specific nature, meaning, understanding in the context of gender. We use different terminologies to recognize gender and sex difference in society, such as LGBT, LGBT, LGBTQ, LGBTQA, TBLG. Acronyms refer to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, and asexual or allied people. Similarly, gender can be recognized by their sex, for example, which refers measurable organs, hormones, and chromosomes a person possesses at birth associated with males, females, and intersexual people. Gender identity shows how people think of themselves and which gender they feel they are. In this way, gender identity is an emotional rather than a physical character. Gender expression is the way people demonstrate their gender to the outside world through their different dresses, the speech they use, their behavior they have towards other and themselves, etc. In a similar fashion, the word transgender is an umbrella term for people whose gender identity and or gender expression differs from what is typically associated with the sex they were assigned at birth. Gender female is a person whose assigned sex at birth is male but identifies and lives as a female. Gender male is a person whose assigned sex at birth is female but identifies and live as a male. Queer again is an umbrella term for LGBTQ people, which was historically derogatory, but has been reclaimed by people wishing to self-identify as queer. There are some more terminology we use for LGBTQ people, such as gender non-conforming, people whose gender expression is different from conventional expectation of masculinity and femininity. Not all gender conforming people identify as transgender, nor all transgender people gender non-conforming. Then we have gender fluid. This term is used for a person or a gender identity that varies over time. Or you can say that this terminology is used for a person or for a gender whose identity or a gender identity varies over time. A gender fluid person may at any time identify as male, female, or another non binary identity or some combination of identities. Cisgender is another terminology for people who are not transgender. In other words, their gender identity is the same as the sex they were assigned at birth. Gender neutral. This is another terminology which we use for a person who does not identify as either male or female. Asexual terminology is another often used in a society which for a person who generally does not feel sexual attraction or does not have any sexual attraction or desire to any group of people. But these kind of asexuality which an individual person is possessing is not the same as celibacy. We have a terminology intersex, a general term used for a variety of conditions in which a person is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that does not fit in typical standard of male and female. We have a terminology ally, typically any non-LGBT person who supports and stand up for the rights of LGBT people. The LGBT people can be allied, such as lesbian who is allied to a transgender. Now, in this slide, we are going to understand the transition process through one person changes or feels different from his or her gender identity. So, the process by which a person begins to live as the gender with which they identify rather than the gender they were assigned at birth. So, it shows that process. This process includes some or all of the following steps. For example, telling one's family, friends, and co workers using a different name and new pronouns, dressing differently, changing one's name and or sex on legal documents, hormone therapy, and possibly one or more type of surgery. The exact step involved in transition vary person to person. It means that you cannot say that a transgender person or a person who wants to be a transgender can be should use all the procedure and all the steps together, but it depends it depends the person's own choice and their own requirement. Now here you can see in this graph the survey done in 2011 about the population of LGBTQ people all over the world. It shows the fluctuating percentage of LGBTQ people in different countries according to time, where you can easily see that how minimum percentage they have, whether it is gay, lesbian, and bisexual. Same comparison we can find in the survey done by done in India. In this graph, you can see the status of LGBTQ people in India. Due to this, especially through this graph, it is explicit that the strength of LGBTQ people is not that satisfactory in higher populated country like India. Not only this, but the situation of LGBTQ youth is also not satisfactory. They are outcast from their homes. They don't have any emotional and financial support sometimes. They are bound to do unexpected social activities. They are easily involved in non-social activities such as alcoholism, drug supply, and social discrimination, abuses, violences, etc. They often attempt suicide. They are they face depressions due to the discriminatory environment. They have a high risk of infections such as HIV, TB, and more than that. They feel isolation and stressed disrespect as their identities are not honored in classroom teaching as well as in a society. So this is very important situation they are having, and this is the reality you can say of LGBTQ people in our society. Now, almost similar situation we can see and find in educational institution related to them. Educational institution neglect the requirement in policies when they make because it is primarily based on heterosexual gender identity. Office records, when we see, they mention their given name and biological sex identity, which is not necessary because if you want to create an egalitarian and equal environment to everybody, it is not necessary to do so. The institutional infrastructure works within the structure of a gender binary and does not meet their specific needs and lack to provide conducive environment sometimes. Because as we all know that all kind of institutional infrastructure or social institutions, they are designed in such a way to fulfill the need of um, heterosexual identities rather than transsexual or LGBTQ people's identity. They often face stereotype, sexist remarks, homophobic remarks, negative remarks on their gender at colleges and school level, as well as in universities. Most of these students leave the campus due to the challenging campus environment they face. There are data which shows that 39% of LGBTQ students, teachers, and staff reported experiencing discrimination and harassment in many ways in colleges and universities, which has negative effect on their learning and overall personality development. Also, they are feared for their physical safety because since they are treated differently in a society, there is always a threat to their existence in a society at the same time. Now, there are so many barriers behind such a situation they face, we need to reflect upon it. So, first of all, the heterosexual orientation of the society. Society always value heterosexuality. That approach is devalued. That approach primarily devalue their status in a society. We see that gender biases is very pervasive and it is a pervasive quality of a society. They see different not as common male and female gender. What does it mean? It means that their existence is seen as different from common male and female gender. Due to their different orientation, they are hardly accepted and invisible unit of the society. Next is noticeability. They are easily noticed if they want to engage with social activities. Means people think that their identity and that they have unique identity, which is not taken as a positive identity in a society, but it is taken as a unique and different identity of the society. Due to such kind of uniqueness, they are seen as dangerous element of the society or harmful for the other gender, especially I'm talking about the heterosexual genders. There are lots of societal stereotype and prejudices against LGBTQ people attached with it, which is really harmful and which is really discriminatory to them. So this discriminatory behavior they face everyday life and every step of their life. In this slide, you can see how less participation they have in higher education, whether it is arts and humanities, businesses, and health professional, etc. Means you can explicitly and clearly see that due to such kind of stereotypes, prejudices, and gender biasness attached to them, they have a very less participation in all sectors and all possible field and categories of educations and businesses and professional field. So the question is how to engage them in higher education, or what are the strategies we can use in order to create a healthy, inclusive environment for them, so that maximum contribution they can provide to the society and the welfare of the society. Here I am sharing some of these strategies in this context, such as first, encountering them, encouraging them to participate in educational activities such as debate, discussion, or group discussion, cultural activities, etc., will be helpful for them to work together and come together in a very equal manner. Second is promoting the idea of non-discriminatory equal education for all type of identity. Third, try to incorporate inclusive language in classroom and educational policies. Because if the language which we use for them is not inclusive but rather exclusive, they may feel offended, which can be harmful for those people, LGBTQ people, as well as the other gender at the same time. Next is providing conducive and inclusive educational environment so that they can feel comfortable and they can work comfortably to the other gender people together. Next, providing all needful resources to them, such as uh, health facilities and support network for their holistic development so that they can contribute as much as they can. It is crucial for providing inclusive job opportunities and environment for them so that their potential can be utilized and they can take part in each and every activity of the society. We can organize gender awareness programs and activities for them and encourage them to take part into it. We should also develop healthy and respectful relationship in all genders so that they don't feel outcast and they don't feel, you can say, different, right, uh, from other gender people. We should also acknowledge their contribution to the humanity. So, in this way, you can say that it is not heterosexual people who have worked a lot and contributed to the humanity, but there are cisgender people, non cisgender people, and LGBTQ people who have also contributed in the same manner for the welfare and the development of humanity. We should include LGBTQ related topics in curriculum and syllabus and research for making things familiar to all units of the society. It should not be the case that we are we are reading and studying what the heterosexual people have done and what the heterosexual people are doing for the society, but there are the LGBTQ people have also their contribution, and these contributions should be acknowledged, as well as these contributions should be incorporated in school, university, and college level curriculum and syllabus. If it is not possible, if it is possible, we should use non-binary vocabulary so that no one should feel different and outcast. So it is very important aspect for the language teachers can use in their classroom teaching. If they use non-binary vocabulary and non-binary way of teaching, that would be really helpful for them to feel comfortable and to feel as a part of that classroom and that society. So, apart from that, there are so many gender inclusive teaching pedagogies or feminist inclusive teaching pedagogies we can implement, we can use for classroom teaching. For instance, giving respect to all gender identities in classroom teaching. So, students should be allowed and students should be identify themselves with their preferable names and pronouns. We should not disclose their gender identity without their consent and anyone's else. We should respect their privacy and avoid asking personal questions to them, such as questions related to their body, their feelings, their identity, and etc. We should use general neutral languages such as everybody, folks, this person, that person may helpful for realizing them that they are also integral and equal part of the society. So let me begin. Let me share some strategies which can be implemented in our classroom teaching. For instance, giving respect to all gender identities in classroom will be helpful for everyone to understand that they are not different, or LGBTQ people are not different, but they are the part of that classroom, and they feel comfortable. So here I am sharing some of the important strategies which can be implemented in the classroom teaching. For instance, giving respect to all gender identities equally in a classroom teaching, promoting diversity and inclusive educational environment there so that everybody can work together and they can contribute and they can share their ideas and views together. All learning resources should be easily available to them so that they should not struggle to get all the relevant and important resource material necessary for their education and for their studies. including student of all gender in classroom activities. So it should be a responsibility of a teacher to include all of the genders together. uh, um, so it should be responsibility of a teacher. So it should be a responsibility of a teacher to include all of the student of all gender in a classroom activity, whether it is debate or cultural activities or discussion or anything else. Conferences you can take, or any other thing. Next is cultivating egalitarian approach in students so that they treat everyone as equal, right? It should be integral, and I must say crucial part of any of the classroom teaching, that that they feel students feel that they all are equal, and they should treat equal to everyone, so that there should be a conducive environment for student, for their holistic development. They should be separate There should be separate facilities for counseling and their physical safety, so that they feel secure and safe. For this purpose, we need to learn about non binary identities properly, because without learning what they are, it is not until and unless we learn what they are actually, or until and unless we understand that the non-binary identities are as equal and as different as male and female or heterosexual gender, we won't be able to understand them properly. So these strategies can be implemented in our classroom teaching. For instance, giving respect to all gender identities in classroom or classroom teaching, promoting diversity and inclusive educational environment so that everybody can equally participate and they can contribute to their knowledge and their services to the society as well as to the institution. All learning resources, whether it is reading material or classroom material and subject material, should be easily available to everyone, including LGBTQ people. Including students of all gender in classroom teaching activities will be another important step in order to include them or make them realize that they are also integral part of the society as well as the institution. Next is cultivating egalitarian approach in students so that they can treat everyone as equal, not as unequal. There should be separate facilities for counseling if it is needed, and there should be separate facility for physical safety for LGBTQ people so that they feel secure and free. For this purpose, it is crucial for everyone to learn about non binary identities properly so that they can realize that the society is not just made up of binaries, and the binaries, male or female or heterosexuality, is not just the only way and only part of the society, but non binary identities are also integral part of the society. Students should be identify themselves with their preferable names and pronouns. They should be given freedom to choose their preferable names and pronouns. We should not disclose their gender identities if teacher knows without their consent to anyone. Next, we should respect their privacy and avoid asking personal questions which can be offended to them, such as question related to body, especially their body, their feelings, their identity, and so on and so forth. Using gender neutral language such as everybody, folks, this person, that person, etc. And if it is needed, we should be apologize for our mistakes and misgender behavior if we treat them or if somebody treats in the class. Especially, it is important to include non-binary course material in syllabus so that there should be equal understanding and equal approach, equal understanding and equal equal status students and all identities can feel about themselves. We should be avoiding using binary male and female labels in classroom discussion will be another important step to promote and generate egalitarian environment in a society. To this end, I can say that LGBTQ people, especially students, are integral part of our society, so that they should be given proper education or educational platform and opportunity to flourish and contribute equally to the society through proper education. For this, we need an educational model that will be helpful in this direction. Thank you.